Thank you for joining us at Region 7 Education Service Center. This is video 3 of a series on using GMetrix. This video will cover generating reports, creating a custom test, and associating that custom test to an access code. So we're just going to start by logging into gmetrix.net/manage. You can use your administrator login information here, or if you received an account from us prior to the 2015-16 school year, you may have an individual login with your email address. You want to enter that information here. If you get into the account and you see on the left-hand side that you don't have all the menus you may need, you can use your administrator account login that we provide annually. It's a printed page, and you can go into user accounts via that login. And I'm just going to scroll down and select Region 7 Education Service Center so you can have an idea of what it looks like for you to have multiple users in the administrator account. If I see Adrian Knight and I can see that he's active, but he doesn't have all the menus that I do on the left-hand side and he needs access, I can click the Edit button. Looks like a little pencil on the right-hand side. If for some reason you have a teacher that's no longer using GMetrix or they've left the district, you can click inactive here and they will no longer be able to use their username to log into the account. You want to hit the next button. And over on the left-hand side of the permissions, it lists the different menus that you see on the left-hand side of your administrator panel. And on the right-hand side, the check marks indicate what permissions were granted to you. You can uncheck those as needed and hit save. If it's unchecked, that means that you do not have access to those areas of the account. If it is checked, it means that you do have access to those areas. And so for today, we're just going to start by generating reports. So we want to scroll over to the left and click the Reports menu and click Create. You will not see all of the information that I just saw. You'll only see your account information when you get to that landing page. If you scroll over each one of these listed, you'll see a brief description at the top of what that report entails. This one, General Product Report, shows the pass-fail rate of each student and the actual number of tests that passed and failed and the percentage of the total students represented. The student test results shows a breakdown of test results based on each individual student. The objective breakdown is a report by objectives. You'll also see the pass and fail rate for students on each objective. And the question breakdown is the test by questions with the pass and fail rate for each student. For the example today, we're going to click General Product Report. You'll have a start and end time that you can enter for the exams that you would like to see, and then click the Create Report button. Now, because I don't have any exam results loaded into this particular site, I'm going to pull up the GMetrix implementation guide that has screenshots where you can see what it would look like. The report looks like this, and you can also export that into an Excel worksheet where you can edit the data as needed. And if you're looking to view a student's results or for specific data, you're going to click on the left-hand panel where it says Reports and click Test Tracking. And you'll see this screen whenever you click there, and as your students begin exams, their information will load at the bottom portion of this page. I don't have any results loaded at this time, and so I'm going to pull up the implementation guide so that we can show you a screenshot of what that report looks like. So you can see here at the bottom, it lists each individual exam that was taken by this student, first name, last name, username, the date and time that they finished the exam, whether it was in training or testing mode, their score, and then over on the right hand side, there is that bulleted list where you can click to see more detail. And if you click that, then you're going to see a screenshot similar to this that pulls up the individual student test results. As you can see here towards the bottom, the skill sets listed here. The student made an 83% on that particular skill set. You can see they did really well in these 4 areas. However, they made a 0% in creating a presentation, and so that may be a topic that needs to be covered for that student again. You can also print these results by clicking this button here or go back to search for another student's test results. Now we're going to look at creating a custom test, and I'm going to go back to my GMetrix Administrator panel, and over on the left-hand side you'll see a menu for custom test. You just want to click that, and you want to click the green button at the top of the page, Create New Test. And so here we'll be able to enter our test name, and we're just going to use Excel 2013 Custom Exam. The next field is the minimum score. The START report recommends that students are making a minimum of 85% on every training or testing practice exam that they're taking before attempting the certification exam. And so I'm going to set that to 85%. You can set that to a greater or lesser amount if you so choose. Then you can choose the mode of either training or testing. In training mode, students can receive instant feedback, and they have the opportunity to try again with help, which means that questions repeat with specific instructions on how to answer correctly, and they also have a reset option. In the testing mode, it works a little more similarly to the actual certification exam. The Show Me How is disabled, as well as the feedback, and it's also timed. So you want to choose your category, and you'll only see the products that you have available in your particular site. So if you only have a Microsoft Office Specialist seat license, then you'll only see Microsoft Office here. We're going to choose Microsoft Office 2013 since I titled this Excel 2013 Custom Exam, and then my products show up, and I want to choose Excel 2013 and hit the Next button. And here you have the option to enter the select number of random questions that your students will have on this custom test, as well as the time minutes for the custom test. Now, GMetrix recommends that you don't enter the select random questions number until you have gone through this list at the bottom and selected the objectives and areas that you would like your students to practice. And so after you've made your selections, I'm just going to randomly choose a few here so that you can see what it looks like at the top. It tells me the total selected questions is 4. And so I'm going to enter 4 here because I want it to randomly select between all the questions that I've selected. And then you can set the minutes to be more appropriate for a classroom setting. The actual certification exams are 50 minutes in length, but you may not have that amount of time set aside for students to take practice exams in class. Your classroom may not even be that lengthy. And so if you need to limit the number of minutes for these practice exams, you can here, and you would choose a smaller amount of time. So we'll just say 15 minutes. And you just want to make sure that whatever amount of time that you choose, that it's appropriate for the question set that you've chosen, and hit the Next button. And GMetrix gives you the opportunity to review all the information that you've entered and the questions that you have selected prior to hitting the Next button to finish. And you'll see this note here: before the custom test can be taken by a student, it needs to be assigned. So you want to click the Assign Test button, and here you can enter your particular test name. So mine was Excel 2013, is what it started with. And I want to hit the search button. You can see here's my 2013 custom test that I created. If I need to see the details of it, I can click this. It shows me who created it, on what date, the number of questions, the passing score, etc. And to assign it, you just click this paperclip, and then it'll give you a list of your access codes. And depending on which access code you want to use, you'll choose that one to assign it to and hit the Next button. And if you had any student groups created in here that you wanted that specific student group to be able to take this practice exam, then you would select that here and hit Next. And now my custom test has been successfully assigned to that access code. And so when my students enter that access code now, that custom test shows up in their list of available exams. And so now what I want to do is go back up to access codes. I'm going to look at the detail for that particular access code that I selected a moment ago. I'm going to scroll down and click Edit Transaction. Then I see my list of available exams there. And as you can see, Excel 2013 Custom Test is selected. This is where we assigned the exam previously. But if you forget to click the Assign Test button, you can also manually select it by editing the transaction, just using the steps that we just followed. If you have any questions about creating reports, a custom test, or associating a custom test to an access code, you can contact me, Tanya Hicks. I'm a secretary at Region 7 Education Service Center. My phone number is 903-988-6848. My email address is thicks@esc7.net. If you need to contact Adrienne Knight, the Region 7 CTE Coordinator, you can visit www.esc7.net, scroll down to Departments, Federal Programs, and Career and Technical Education. His contact information is at the bottom of that page. His phone number and his email address. If your email account is set up, you can click that to email him directly, or you can see in the bottom left-hand corner his email address is aknight@esc7.net. Thank you.